Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Serenity House Impact Youth Prevention Program. My name is Brian Lewis, and today we're going to be talking about suicide prevention. The title of this video is called How to Save a Life. The reason why I chose this title is because I want you to walk away from this feeling encouraged and empowered, knowing that you can save a life. By the end of this video, you should be able to recognize the warning signs of suicide. You will gain a better understanding of how to speak to someone who may be having thoughts of suicide, and you will be provided with the tools that you need to help someone before it's too late. So let me start by going over a few facts about suicide. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for youth and young adults. This ranges from ages 15 to 34. On average, there's 132 deaths by suicide every day. And according to data from 2019, on average, one person dies by suicide every 2 hours in Texas. More Texans are dying by suicide than motor vehicle accidents. In 2018, over 48,000 people died by suicide in the US. Just to put that in perspective, an average high school football stadium holds just under 4,000 people. So imagine 12 high school football stadiums full of people. That is how many people died in 2018 because of suicide. According to the data, men are far more likely to commit suicide. However, women are more likely to attempt suicide than men. The reasoning for this is that men tend to use much more violent means when committing suicide, such as using a firearm. Women on average who have attempted suicide tend to choose less violent means, such as a drug overdose. This means that the majority of women who attempted suicide by a drug overdose were able to receive the help they needed before it was too late. Now, there are many reasons why someone may have suicidal thoughts. It could be depression, or mental illness, or even stress. I would say that for young adults, bullying would definitely be a factor. Now, I've talked about bullying in my past lessons, and I'm going to tell you the same thing that I've said before. Bullying, whether in person or online, is not cool. Regardless of your reasoning, no one deserves to be bullied. If you see someone that's being bullied, you need to inform an adult, like a teacher or a counselor. You have the ability here to save someone's life because you were brave enough to stand up and say something. If you think someone is having thoughts of suicide, you need to speak up and tell an adult. If a friend tells you that they're having thoughts of suicide, do not keep that secret. You must, for their sake, tell someone. I would hate for you to wake up one day knowing that if you would have just said something, your friend would still be alive. This is such a deadly secret to hold on to. I understand that you may feel like you're betraying your friend's trust, or they might even hate you for saying something. But what would you rather have? A lost friendship, or a friend who lost their life? I would rather have my friend hate me than to hate myself for not saying something. Besides, once they get the care that they need, I promise that they're going to understand where you're coming from. They'll forgive you and may even thank you for saving their life. If you hear or see something, you need to say something. Period. Now, I want to share with you this acronym called WAIT. This is an easy way to remember the steps on how to support someone if they're having thoughts of suicide. So the W in WAIT stands for watch. Watch out for signs of distress or uncharacteristic behavior. Things like social withdrawal or excessive quietness, irritability like being frustrated or angry, having violent outbursts, or even having thoughts of suicide or death. These are the things to look out for. The A in WAIT stands for ask. Do not be afraid to ask the question, are you having thoughts of suicide? Asking this question does not encourage suicide, nor does it lead someone to think about it. It can actually help prevent and save someone's life because this leads to a deeper conversation. Many times when people are depressed or having thoughts of suicide, they may feel very alone or that no one really cares about them. So by asking this question, you're showing that you really do care. So if you ask this question and it turns out that this person is having thoughts of suicide, listen to them, stay there and support them. Don't leave them alone. Now, the I in WAIT stands for it will pass. Now, you need to assure this person that Their thoughts or the pain that they have will pass with time. Continue to encourage and support this person. It's important that they know that you're there for them and that you care. And last, the T in WAIT stands for talk to others. You need to encourage this person to seek help and talk to someone they trust. Go with this person to see a teacher, a counselor, or a parent. Stay with them until you know that they're safe. So remember, if you see something or hear something, tell an adult. Suicide is not a joke. I know that there's a lot of people that struggle with this, and maybe even someone watching this video now is struggling with thoughts of suicide. It is important that you know that you are not alone. There are a lot of people around you that do care about you. I promise that there are people in this world that need you. You might not feel that way right now, and that's okay. But I want you to imagine that years from now, there's this little boy or girl who is struggling, just like you are. They may feel lost and alone. They may feel like there's nothing else to live for. But if you are there to guide them and encourage them and remind them that their life is worth living for because you yourself made that choice, what an inspiration you can be. Do not give up on yourself. Your story of overcoming this hardship, overcoming depression, overcoming thoughts of suicide, your ability to break through all of these things is not only going to save your life, but it will save the lives of all of those that you come in contact with. You can be the difference in someone's life because you decided today that your life is worth living. Stress and depression can come at any age. Do not think that you're exempt from this. Be aware of the signs and do not be afraid to speak up and ask for help. I want to encourage you and remind you that you have the power to save people's lives. Do not allow fear to hold you back from speaking up. Do not allow negative influence, maybe even from your friends, to convince you to stay quiet. Everyone's life is worth living. Speak up. Now, I'm going to share with you a clip from a Tony Robbins conference. Tony Robbins is an amazing motivational speaker and counselor, and in this clip you're about to see, he ends up saving this young girl's life. I want you to watch this and see how Tony treats this young girl. Listen to the words that he uses to connect with her.
Life isn't worth living. I took the pills about 2 months ago, and most of it has to do with my parents. I don't feel like they understand me. I just told them that I was having these thoughts and I just wanted someone to talk to, like a counselor or something, and they just kind of pushed it aside. They didn't believe me. They just thought I wanted attention. I actually took a lot of pills, and then I told my parents, look, you need to get me to the hospital right now, because if you don't, I am going to die. And I wanted to live, but in the back of my mind, there was still that little voice that was like, you don't want to live, you don't want to live.
She feels her parents don't understand her. And for a woman, which she's a young girl, but there's a woman inside, men, this is a lesson for you, for your daughters, as well as the woman in your life. There's nothing more important besides being loved than for a woman to feel understood. So she doesn't feel understood by her parents. What's happening between your mom and dad that you want to distract them from?
They do have some problems with their marriage.
You're afraid they're going to divorce?
I have thought that, yeah.
What if they're not happy with their marriage and they choose to change that?
My mom knows that they have problems, and she's tried to tell my dad, and my dad is an extremely hard person at times, and he just does not want to hear it. And sometimes I just feel torn because my mom will try and pull me against my dad, and my dad tries to pull me against my mom. He never used to be like that. When they first met, he was the most caring, wonderful, loving person she'd ever met. They've been married for 17 years.
Wow. How many of those years were they happy?
6, maybe.
So half your life they were happy and the other half they're not.
Well, I wasn't born, because I've asked my mom that. I was like, did he start acting this way after I was born? She's like, no, it was about a year or 2 before you were born.
What do you think happened a year before you were born?
I have no clue.
What matters most in the end?
My family staying together.
If their daughter's suicidal, they better stick together, huh? Genius. There's one thing you don't understand, that you don't want to hear, but you need to, and I know you're willing to, because if you look in my eyes, you know I have a love for you that doesn't come from something you're giving me. Your mom and dad may need to be apart. I don't know. They may be miserable because they have completely different approaches to what they want for life. And they may feel trapped because they love you. As long as you're attached to that specific result, then you're no longer committed to the happiness of the people involved. It matters most is they stay together, even if they're miserable, that they should stay out of fear and guilt till you all grow up. So they should have a decade of their life miserable. That way you won't kill yourself. And then your sisters and you can learn that a relationship is about giving up everything and being unhappy. And then you guys can all do the same thing. Ooh, that one went in deep, didn't it? Ooh, wow.
No, I was just thinking about something I hadn't thought about before. My mom told me something. Before they were married, she got pregnant. And my dad really, really, really wanted to have kids, and my mom didn't, so they had an abortion. And I think he blames her for that. I think she blames herself for that, too.
You just came up with the answer to what happened before you were born. Give her a hand for that. That's beautiful. We have a choice in our life to give things a meaning. The meanings we give control our entire lives. Big problems start with little thoughts, and great achievements start with little thoughts. So you want your mom to be happy, and you want your mom to feel loved. Mm-hmm. So what's the truth? Can you really control all this?
No.
Will you ever attempt to take your life again under any circumstance, no matter how crazy or scary it is?
No.
Why not?
Because I know now that I'm not responsible for my parents' problems, and I can't put all their blame on myself.
This is a powerful story. Many times, the stress that we feel can cause us to do drastic things. I fear what might have happened had this young woman not been brave enough to stand up and say how she felt. Now her story, her testimony, can be used to save other people's lives. Look, I know that middle school and high school can be rough. I know it can be unfair. So please, if you're hurting, if you're in pain, if you're struggling, please be brave and speak up and ask for help. You are not alone. You are loved. And remember that you can make a positive impact in this world. And I hope that you choose today to save someone's life, even if it's your own. If you're curious to learn more, I'm going to be listing my references in the description box down below. But I'm also going to include a second video from an interview with Simon Sinek. Simon, much like Tony Robbins, is an amazing speaker and entrepreneur. He works with a lot of younger people, and he's gained a lot of insight into why the youth of today are struggling with depression. In this video, he gives his perspective, and he also gives some words of advice. When you have a chance, I would really encourage you to watch this video. So remember, if you see something or hear something, speak up, because that is how you save a life. Y'all take care.